But for all the criticism bucketed on the federal government in the past 12 months, it has done a remarkable job through one of the worst years in living memory. I don't need to reiterate the impact this pandemic has had on our country, our people, and our economy. The Prime Minister and Treasurer have taken measures unheard of for Conservative governments, and it had to come thick and fast through that period to keep up with what was falling down around us. And yes, they've copped reasonable criticism from many of us right here about the billions being spent, in some ways rather wastefully, about a lack of control they've had over states and territories, and being caught somewhat flat-footed as the virus raged through government-run aged care facilities. But that said, the Morrison government has stood out as world leaders in two significant ways. When we called for an independent inquiry into the origins of COVID-19, we were many steps ahead of the rest of the world who were reticent to upset China in any way. I think it was a fair and decent call to ensure that this would be the last time we'd be impacted by such a pandemic. And China's immature and destructive response to that has only proved how crucial and right it was to seek the truth. And then in the midst of juggling a myriad of dramas associated with state borders being snapped shut and an economy in apparent freefall, out they came with the world's first real attempt to stop the bullying and robbery being undertaken by the rich and powerful big tech companies such as Google and Facebook. For too long, both had been using the resources of news organisations worldwide to earn incredible revenue. Media companies like this one were lobbying the government for years to do something about this cut and paste mentality and put a value on the journalism and content being produced in Australia. Well, finally they listened and acted and caused the greatest wave of opposition that these tech giants have ever faced. Now, as you know, Google refused to blink until the Prime Minister laid down the law, and they fell into line almost overnight. Facebook, though, led by the mean-spirited Mark Zuckerberg, was out of here, not only launching war against Australian news agencies, but anything vaguely described as news or information with an Australian flavour. And this is the man, mind you, who virtually stole the Facebook concept from a colleague at university and went on to infamously instruct his team to, quote, move fast and break things. Well, he's used that same philosophy against Australia's upcoming news media bargaining code, and I think it's backfired sensationally, uniting Australians like never before. And early signs would suggest the world's largest nations may be forming a cavalry to back Australia and take on Facebook themselves. Let's hope so. Australia's earned a great reputation for what we've done in military, the theatres of war, what we've done on the sporting field. We punch above our weight consistently. But this is new, and I think it's impressive territory where we play a leading world role in challenging the richest companies on earth or the most recalcitrant nations such as China for the sake of fairness and equity. I think we should be proud of what role we're playing in all this and give credit where it's due, because in these crazy crises we've faced, we do have a government which won't hesitate to accept the biggest challenges and fight for what's right. So far, a job well done.